In an ever-changing and highly congested sport and entertainment marketplace, social media is playing an increasingly central role in rugby's growth strategy. And it's with that concept in mind, that I'd like to introduce our final panel for the afternoon. And it's going to be discussing sport and the digital environment, engaging and expanding rugby's ever-increasing audience.
At a lot of these conferences, we talk about the first screen, we talk about the second screen, we talk about multi-screen, always with the idea that the television is the first screen. And the concept that I have here is that mobile is in fact the first screen. So a few statistics that we have: 75% of the UK population, to take one example, will have a smartphone by the end of 2014. So 3/4 of every person in the UK will have a smartphone by the end of 2014. And one of the interesting things that we see today is, in fact, that the average smartphone user checks his phone 150 times a day. Roughly two-thirds of smartphone users watch video, which is something that we see quite clearly at YouTube. 40% of YouTube traffic is now video-based. And I think in many ways one of the most extraordinary things about digital technology is the way that it has unleashed this creativity. Of course, if you are a sporting organization, your bread and butter is organizing sport, organizing a football club, a league, a tournament, whatever it is you do. But increasingly, we're seeing that huge amounts of creativity comes out of these organizations as well. Because these football clubs want to be able to tell the stories of what's going on behind the scenes, want to be able to show interviews. They want to be able to show the personalities that exist within the club, to tell the stories that nobody else can tell, because they have that exclusive access to it. The core audience for YouTube users is 15 to 25-year-olds. And 15 to 25-year-olds are really the first internet generation. They grew up with the internet. They didn't have to be taught how to send an email, or they know instinctively what a browser is. Here are some insights on that particular generation. A lot of marketeers would call them Generation C, because connectivity, curation, online community, these are key things to them. The internet is obviously an important part of that, and in fact, the evidence shows that they spend more time on the internet than all other media combined. So 15 to 25-year-olds, more time on the internet than all other media combined. 15 to 25, as I say, they have on average 340 connections, so friends, if you like, online. And perhaps I think the most alarming statistic that I heard was that they would rather go without a sense of smell than their connected devices.
Rugby World Cup 2011 was fantastic sponsorship for us. It was a great result. We used digital and social media in terms of partnering with some of the official platforms that were out there, in terms of the official Rugby World Cup website, the smartphone app, helping to deliver video highlights, and also did a unique piece around delivering a delivery of the week with Tana Umaga as our DHL ambassador. So we saw some great results out of that. For 2015, for us, it's early days, I guess, but we started recently with our announcement, and we were very privileged to bring back the Web Ellis Cup from New Zealand through Australia, South Africa, England, and yesterday to Ireland. So we've been using social media along the way. We've actually created new platforms, a new Facebook page and a new Twitter account. And it's worked really, really successfully so far. We had 1.8, I should say, million impressions over our Twitter account across that tour so far.
Data as a concept sounds extremely boring, and there's a lot of talk around big data and what it means in the commercial space at the moment. But data, if it's interpreted in the right way, is a fantastic mechanism for actually telling a story during a rugby match. And I think on the basis that if you assume that the peak of your audience is around the live, and in every sporting case, your peak audience is around the live event. If you are taking live match data and interpreting that in very intelligent and clever ways to tell a story to the consumer, it can have it can be hugely ambitious.
This plethora of data, or plethora of information, whether it's data or pictures or video, it's all about how it's curated, And I think that's a number of different levels. You know, we as the IRB have an opportunity to curate some of that content on some of the official platforms, but it's also trying to create those tools which allow and actually create an environment in terms of sort of, you know, treating it in the right way from a contractual perspective that allow other people to go and curate it as much as they like. We all know that there is a lot of illegal content, rugby content on YouTube or copyrighted content on YouTube. And to be fair to YouTube, they give a lot of opportunities to take it down if you want. But you know, my view is actually if there is somebody there putting their own 10 best tries in the history of rugby together, and then they're uploading that, or that they're trying to share that with their friends, that's actually great content. And all we should be looking to do is try and create a quality threshold about that, so that rather than people having to look at it in a grainy, low resolution format, that we're actually saying the stuff that we want to take down, we're not taking down so much because it's a copyright breach. We're taking it down because it's just not reflecting rugby in the right way. It's low quality, it's not the right image that we want to present. And in actual fact, the more you could do to help people understand how to use it, the better. Because I think the other thing is, when you're an old style broadcast, you have this view that once you've created something, it's there forever. In the digital world, it's not. I mean, you look at something like Twitter, it's not there an hour later, it's fallen off the bottom of your page. So you're not going to go back and look and find it. And I think that sometimes when you think about digital media, everybody's obsessed with the quality level, with how this is going to reflect in the long term, and it's not like that at all. It should be about how does that reflect in the here and now, and how is that creative. It's not about like creating a super high quality. It's about doing something fun, about adding music to it, putting together your little compilation. It doesn't need to be perfect, like it's some kind of Fellini film or something like that. It needs to be just quick and responsive and creative.
So the take-home message is embrace, experiment, try and be unique, and go for it. Okay?
I'd add inspire as well. I mean, you're looking for people to come back.
Okay.